This episode is brought to you by State Farm. Listening to this podcast instead of doom scrolling? Smart move. Another smart move? Getting help from one of State Farm's 19,000 local agents when you choose to bundle home and auto. Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
This episode is brought to you by Welch's Fruit Snacks. Back to school season can be tough on parents, but choosing a snack you and your kids can both get behind doesn't have to be. Stock up on Welch's Fruit Snacks, made with whole fruit and now made with no artificial dyes. It's a snack kids already love and one you can feel good about giving them. Go back to school with Welch's Fruit Snacks, now made with no artificial dyes.
Ariana Grande, Petal, let's talk about it. How y'all doing? Welcome to Let's Talk About It Music Reviews Season 12. How y'all doing? Welcome to the show, guys. We got a pretty good show for you today. Ariana Grande has officially dropped her new album. The album's called Petal, and this is actually, I guess, the fucking album title track that we picked. I mean, the reason why I picked this is because, the music video for this song is going to be dropping at 10 a.m., and you know what? I said, fuck it. We might as well cover this one. I kind of just choose a random track off the album. If I'm covering albums, that's how it usually goes. And
this episode is brought to you by Facebook. So you were scrolling on Marketplace, and there it was, the bike you'd been searching for. You sent a message, and it turned out the seller was super chatty, kind of funny, and an avid cyclist. The next thing you know, you're in a cycling crew. Well, a community cycling group. The thing about Facebook, you might find more than what you're looking for. From a browse to a bike ride, this summer find more on Facebook.
Who cares about your poops? Ollie does. That's why Ollie's science-backed gut health lineup helps support your family's regularity. From daily probiotics to fiber gummies your kiddos will love. Find it all on Ollie.com. That's OLLY.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
But yeah, I just got done listening to this song, Petal. Let's get into it. Let's talk about it. Starting off at the instrumental. I mean, this instrumental is pretty okay. It does kind of remind me of, the R&B style of Ariana Grande. So I do like this beat. I like the deep kind of electronic bass that goes kind of crazy. I mean, there's not many switch-ups here, but I do like the build-up to the beat drop. And there's actually a beat drop that sounds pretty good in my opinion. So all of the elements here, I will say, work pretty well together in my opinion. Nothing too crazy. The melody's nothing crazy, but the drums, the bass, all those different elements do go crazy. And I've said crazy already a lot, but I do mean that. And let's talk about the beginning verse, because actually, my big complaint, and I was a little scared for this album, because, I'm seeing on Twitter, Ariana Grande is saying that this album is nothing that you've ever heard before. It's experimental. It's got all these different elements. It's something that she's never done before. So I hear that and I go, okay, I'm either in for the best time or I'm in for the worst time when an artist makes those type of comments about their album. That's what usually happens. I'm just going to be honest with y'all. So I was a little bit scared. So going into this though, honestly, this is probably already way better than that single that I heard from Ariana Grande. This already sounds 10 times better, just with the vocal delivery, the power, the different flow switches that Ariana Grande is bringing with this one verse alone, which is something that I definitely do want. I want, more vocal switch ups. I want more flow switches, and I do like how, the R&B sound is definitely here, which is, I will tell y'all, that is definitely how you can win me over, is when you have R&B elements actually into your song, into your music. I mean, that just means I'm going to have a pretty good time listening to it. So already I'm pretty happy about that, having those elements into there. But I will say, this hook, the beat sounds good when it drops, but I don't know. It just kind of just repeats the same phrase. and the singing is not really hitting that hard on the hook. And I don't know, I'm just kind of wanting a little bit more when I'm listening to this song. You know, like I'm liking the verse, you know, there's some good flow switches, there's some nice good vocal switches too. But then I'm listening to the hook, and this whole like build up, what we've been building to, doesn't sound that great. The build up doesn't really sound that worth it, you know, when you're listening to the song. So I think that could be a little bit better, you know, with some better vocal switches maybe in the hook. Because the hook does, you know, it is a little basic. And that's kind of my only big complaint about this song, is that the hook does sound a little bit basic. Hook doesn't sound that good in my opinion. I wish it was a little bit more. But I do like the background vocals. I do like those, you know, background vocals going crazy. Some nice little vocal effects are in this, you know, hook. So there is some other elements that is helping out this hook. So it's not the worst hook I've heard. Not my favorite from Ariana Grande, I will be honest with you. But this hook gets the job done. It sounds all right. And if this is like a leading like single to the album.
This episode is supported by FX's The Shards, a seductive drama from executive producer Ryan Murphy. Set in 1980s Los Angeles, the series follows a group of glamorous, deeply entangled high school seniors drawn into a life of wealth, beauty, parties, and excess. At its center is Brett, whose reality begins to unravel when the arrival of a new student coincides with a series of mysterious murders. FX's The Shards premieres August 5th on FX and Hulu.
Hear that? That's now Crispy and McCrispy strips meeting Creamy Caesar sauce. Sounds extra crispy. Caesar sauce at McDonald's for a limited time. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
The album's already out, but, you know, this is one of those, like, boom, this is the music video. This is, like, what's really gonna, like, keep the momentum, keep the fucking album going crazy. This is a good starting point, I will say, if you're getting into the album. You know, the vocals alone on the hook are really good. The vocals alone on the verses are actually a lot better. So this is one of these moments where the hook isn't really hitting that hard, but the verses are going kind of crazy. So I do like that. Sounds pretty fucking good in my opinion. And that second verse, this is what I'm wanting. I don't want, you know, like the first verse to be kind of all the song's about. The hook is all right, but that second verse actually is one of my favorites from Ariana Grande, because the second verse carries those vocal switches, carries those flow switches, and you have all these nice switches that make the second verse actually feel like a second verse. It doesn't sound the same as the beginning one. You know, it actually is worth it listening throughout the whole entire song, because you're getting a little bit more as you're listening to it. So I really overall enjoy that. And I'm glad the second verse has a little bit more to it than the whole song. You know, it just makes the listening ability just really good. So overall, we talk about Ariana Grande Petal. For just kind of picking a song off this album. And I picked it because there's going to be a music video. I'm pretty impressed. I don't know how this album's going to sound. You know, we've been doing this for a long time. Sometimes I pick a random song and it's really good. And, you know, the album's really good. Sometimes I pick a song and then I jump into the album and I have a really bad time. So I have no idea what this experience is going to lead. But for Ariana Grande Petal, I like the beat. Beat sounds pretty good. The bass is one of those things that just like kind of like makes the fucking song really fire. So that's pretty cool. And then, you know, hey, the instrumental, it's actually pretty good. The elements there are actually pretty good. The beginning verse is actually pretty good. The hook, I'm not really much of a fan of the hook, but the second verse is actually pretty fucking good. So, overall, I will easily give this song a nice 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10, guys. What y'all think about it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? I don't know. Let me know. If you're on YouTube, Spotify, Pandora, wherever you get your podcast at, make sure you follow, turn on notifications, guys. We're dropping new content every single day. And get ready. We got more Ariana Grande coverage coming very soon. And I can't wait to fucking talk about this album even more. So I'll see you later. Have a good one. Yeah.
Queen Carvania stood haloed by the morning sun, An army hung on her every word.
My champions, I have sold my chariot on Carvana. 'Twas a lovely SUV, an inexplicably queenly offer. They're even coming to the castle to collect it. Tonight, we feast! An offer you can feast on. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.
Hey guys, bye.